World War I did not happen overnight. It was the result of many factors building up over time. One of the primary causes was nationalism. Many countries in Europe were becoming more patriotic and wanted to prove their dominance. This sense of national pride often led to conflicts with neighboring countries.
Alliances further complicated the situation. European nations formed partnerships to protect themselves. These alliances were meant to provide security, but they also created a web of obligations. If one country was attacked, its allies were bound to come to its aid, making conflicts more likely to spread.
The combination of nationalism, imperialism, and alliances set the stage for a major conflict. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was the spark that ignited World War I. On June 28, 1914, he was shot and killed in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a member of a Serbian nationalist group. This event set off a chain reaction of events that led to war. Austria-Hungary saw the assassination as an opportunity to crush Serbia, whom they blamed for the attack. They issued an ultimatum with harsh demands. Serbia agreed to most of the conditions, but not all. This partial refusal gave Austria-Hungary the excuse it needed to declare war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand was the tipping point. It turned existing tensions into open conflict. The alliances in place before World War I quickly turned a local conflict into a global war. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, it set off a chain reaction. Each country's allies were obligated to join the fight, expanding the scope of the conflict. Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, quickly moved to support its partner. It declared war on Russia, Serbia's ally, and then on France, Russia's ally. Germany's invasion of Belgium brought Britain into the war, as Britain had promised to defend Belgium's neutrality. The Germans pushed through Belgium, aiming to encircle France. However, the First Battle of the Marne in September 1914 halted their advance.
The Ottoman Empire and Bulgaria joined the war on the side of the Central Powers, which included Germany and Austria-Hungary. The alliances created a domino effect, dragging more and more countries into the conflict.
Trench warfare defined the battles of World War I, particularly on the Western Front. Soldiers lived and fought in long, narrow ditches dug into the ground. These trenches offered protection from enemy fire, but also created miserable living conditions.
Life in the trenches was harsh. Soldiers faced constant threats from artillery shells, sniper fire, and poison gas. Millions of soldiers endured unimaginable suffering in these muddy, rat-infested lines. New technologies like machine guns and poison gas, first used at the Second Battle of Ypres in 1915, made the battlefield even more deadly. The Battle of Verdun, commencing in February 1916, and the Somme Offensive, launched in July of the same year, were among the bloodiest battles in history. They showcased the sheer brutality and futility of trench warfare. While the land war raged, naval battles were crucial. The Battle of Jutland in May 1916, the largest naval engagement of the war, was a tactical draw. On the Eastern Front, Russia suffered immense casualties. The February Revolution of 1917 led to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II. The Bolsheviks under Lenin seized power later that year.
Two significant turning points in World War I were the entry of the United States and the decline of the Ottoman Empire. These events shifted the balance of power and influenced the war's outcome. The United States entered the war in 1917. Initially neutral, the U.S. was swayed by several factors: German unrestricted submarine warfare, which targeted civilian ships, and the Zimmermann Telegram, in which Germany proposed an alliance with Mexico against the U.S., pushed America to join the Allies.
Meanwhile, the Ottoman Empire, part of the Central Powers, was weakening. The empire faced internal struggles and pressure from Allied forces. By the end of the war, the Ottoman Empire was on the brink of collapse.
The end of World War I came with the signing of the Armistice Agreement on November 11, 1918. This agreement marked the cessation of hostilities on the Western Front. After 4 years of intense fighting, the guns finally fell silent.
The Treaty of Versailles followed the Armistice in 1919. The treaty aimed to establish lasting peace but imposed harsh penalties on Germany and set the stage for future conflicts. Germany was forced to accept full responsibility for the war, pay massive reparations, and cede territory.
The Treaty of Versailles was controversial. Many Germans viewed the terms as excessively punitive. The harsh conditions contributed to economic hardship and political instability in Germany.
World War I had a profound and lasting impact on the world. The war caused immense loss of life and destruction. Millions of soldiers and civilians died, and many more were wounded or displaced.
The political landscape of Europe changed dramatically. Empires such as Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, and Russian collapsed. New countries were formed, and borders were redrawn.
The social and economic effects were also significant. The war led to technological advancements and changes in warfare tactics. The legacy of World War I is complex, reshaping the world and influencing global events for decades.